Here's what I want to share with you. If you get this right, if you like really master your story, or at least set out to master your story, you'll be able to connect with people at such a deep level and have this foundation of knowing who you are, knowing the values that you have, knowing what you will or won't tolerate, knowing how to present yourself in any situation. Someone says, get up on a stage and go teach, go perform, go do something. And you have this to always fall back on: your story, your journey, that which got you to where you are today. That is incredibly valuable, because there's a lot of lack of confidence that comes with a lack of performance, right? Like, why don't you perform? Why don't you produce the results that you want? Why do you hesitate? Why are you shy? Why are you stuck? Why are you lost? It's because you don't know your story. And so those are some of the consequences. If you don't get this story mastered, if you don't have your story mastered, you're not going to have you may not have this inner knowing of who you really are. You may not have the ability to jump up in front of a crowd and just share yourself fully wherever you go. You may find it more difficult to do these things. You may feel like it's always different. Your story is always different. For me, I'll straight up honest, right? I believe, because I'm still mastering my story, completely transparent, right? Like, I'm not this person who's mastered my story and I share it time and time again. It's the same exact story every single time, or it's, little flares. Like, I'm totally, I have a slight framework and outline, but still, got lots of work to do. So when you don't have it, it creates a lack of a unified perception, a unified brand, unified marketing, right? If you are not crystal clear on your story and you share it in the same really powerful way, because you did the work to develop the story time and time and time again, if you don't share it and you don't develop it, you don't share it in the same way, you're going to have scattered branding, and people are not really going to get what you're about. Hence, case in point, right? Chris Burns, I put out a ton of stuff, all kinds of different stuff, mindset, inspiration, personal development, business, all kinds of really cool stuff. Podcast, a lot of the stuff, the challenge has been having a unified direction, right? So just even a couple weeks ago, before that, Burn Up Coaching was accountability, breakthrough, encouraging confidence, right? And it just didn't feel like it had a story behind it. Didn't feel like this is something that people will get. And essential oils, distilled sunlight. That's right. Essential oils are bomb.com. Panurhythmy.com. Go check it out. But my challenge was, sharing these stories, but I wasn't feeling like it really resonated with people, or people, I felt like it was really complex and convoluted, and people still didn't get who I am. I didn't feel that traction where before I even get on a conversation with people, they're like, dude, I heard your story. It's freaking awesome. You said this, this, and this, and this. I heard it multiple times. I heard it from, I heard it on Byron's podcast. I heard it on, Blake's podcast. I heard it on whoever's podcast. That's awesome, man. I love that. I love your story. And I love that I'm seeing you pop up all over the place. That's number one. I think that's already happening. I think people are like, dude, I keep seeing this Chris Burns dude all over the place. I just don't know what the hell he's about. I don't know who he is. Who is Chris Burns? He's popping up, which is good, taking some steps in the right direction. But who is he, and what does he do? What does he stand for? What is he about? Speaking of which, values. Bob McIntosh challenged me and everyone to get clear on our values and post them up. So I still have that to do. Love you too, Chris. Wi-Fi is not good where I'm at right now. That is a shame, Shamika. Make it happen, Captain. Let's get that Wi-Fi back. Jesus, give her Wi-Fi. So mastering that story, have you mastered it to the point where you could say it backwards and forwards in your sleep? You have an outline. You have a specific process that you go through to give people a clear expectation of who you are. Also, when you have your story clear, you can make it last an hour. You can make it last 20 minutes. You can make it last 2 minutes, 1 minute, 30 seconds. Maybe you have 30 seconds to share your story, your journey. And, you're on a prospecting call, a client call, potential client call, and your ability to share your story in a clear, concise way will make the difference. Not only that, but your groundedness in your story and familiarity with your story and clarity with your story will allow you the space to overcome objections that you think that prospect might have. How I overcome this prospect's objection of, I don't have enough time, is because I know my story, and I came from this place of, I have no idea how I'm going to do this because I don't have enough time, and then I overcame it. I, took baby steps. I started using calendars more, started evaluating my priorities and changing those up, and, putting things in my calendar when I felt like it had to be there, whatever, right? Like, I made it a priority. So that's something that you can do, right? You can start putting it in your calendar. And that's something, honestly, I'm still dealing with this time thing. It's very challenging and a lot of fun. And I'm gamifying it. Woo! Gamifying it. Gamify. Carrie's interview is awesome. Definitely go watch it. But when you have it down pat, your story, you can introduce elements that make the difference for the audience that you're with. So if you know your story forwards and backwards, and you get on a stage and you're speaking to network marketers, you could speak to them and then insert lessons, insert experiences, insert parts of your journey that would relate to them, that have to do with network marketing, that forward that objective, that story, that agenda, right? How do you do that? How do you figure out those stuff? Well, it's a lot of preparation, a lot of research, but we're going to be talking about some of them today. Not really getting into the depths of crafting your story, but we're going to share it in a way and start creating a framework so that it propels you forward. So what you really want to focus on is, like, how did you get to where you are today? Right? Like, how you got to where you are today, of course. Of course I'm going to share that. Good. Now let's be more specific about that. How you got to where you are today. What signs did you see along the way that truly shaped who you are today? What ways of being shaped who you are today? Like, what events in your life, what happened so that you knew that you would be this person you are today? Right? And this is, like, so subjective, and so you can literally create this. I could say I was in roller hockey, so I loved playing on a team, or I was in roller hockey and I loved being competitive, or I was in roller hockey and it went right with the middle finger. I was in roller hockey, for everybody who's watching or listening to the audio. I just, accidentally, I did roller hockey, thumbs up, roller hockey, index finger, roller hockey, middle finger. Anyways, so if I was in roller hockey to, punch people, I was in roller hockey to get out my aggression. Whatever it is, I can create lots of different reasons why I was in roller hockey during my high school years, during all 4 years in high school. But for me personally, and again, I'm still dialing this in, so you might hear my story next week and it's completely different. So don't hold it to me. But let's say, for example, I really loved in video games. Number one, I loved being the character that could grow. I loved growing my character. I loved, being at level, 10, and I'm supposed to be at level 11 to fight the boss monster. And I say, you know what? I'd rather just, like, keep farming, right? Kind of defeating the little small monsters and again and again and again, leave the area, come back, leave the area, come back. They keep repopulating, all that good stuff. And getting all that experience points, leveling up. Finally, I'm like level 30 and I'm fighting this monster that I should have fought at, level 11. And I just felt like super powerful, superpowered, like superhero. Like unstoppable, invincible, right? Grow. I love to grow. I love to feel powerful and, like, in control. And, so how that relates to now, for example, is I love building my own company. I chose to build Burn Up Coaching because it's my own company and I'm in control. I love being in control. I love being the leader who calls the shots, who makes the decisions, who says this is how it's going to go. I don't like working under someone else's ultimate authority, right? If I don't want to do something, I don't want to do it, right? There's stuff that I'll do to grow the business, of course, but it's my business, and I do it because I say I will, not because someone tells me I have to, or I lose my job, or I lose whatever, right? So I'm grateful for that knowledge that, I can see I love freedom, and I love being in control. I noticed this pattern from playing video games. And another one, I love growing, right? I love growing as a character to like supercharge my character in video games and become like super powerful. So guess what I do now? I love growing myself. I love having these little seminars that I can do once a week. These epic seminars, not little. These are epic seminars. Seminar on... I was going to say seminar in a box, but it's not a seminar in a box. It's like, this is a seminar. This 12-hour marathon is a freaking seminar. It's an online teleseminar. And it's massive, and it's super freaking powerful. I love it. I'm blessed to have it. I love growing. So I figured, how can I grow myself and do what I love and learn and be curious? I loved learning. I love growing. So I created this marathon. 37 episodes later, I'm still doing it. Why? Because it fulfills a lot of values for me. It's like a good boom. I do it no matter who showed up. Even if there was like 0 people today, which would suck, but even if there was, I would still keep doing it because I love doing it and I love putting people in the spotlight. And I know that there's something that I can do to really 10x my viewership. I don't know what that is. I don't know what it would take to 10x my viewership, but there's something I could do and really amp up my effectiveness. So that could be one element of my story that I share, that I loved playing video games, I loved growing, I loved, being the best character that I could be in video games, and that's why I do personal development. That's why I coach people, because I want to be my greatest possible self. I want to succeed. So start looking for those incidences, those times in your life that shape your journey, that were really challenging for you. What challenges did you overcome? That's also a really good one, right? Another part of my journey, I used to be very shy and introverted and stay locked up in my room. And I hated talking to people, and I hated dealing with people. I didn't want to call my dentist or my... I got your show written on my calendar for every Wednesday. I love it, man. Curtis, you're the man. Curtis the man. Curtis the money magnet. I love it, man. So cool. Thank you. I really... Thank you, man. Thank you. I just want to let that one sink in. I really appreciate you, dude. Love you. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So we were talking about being locked up in my room, being introverted, not wanting to talk, jumping up in front of the classroom, and let's see. Jumping up in front of a classroom in college and turning bright red because it was like super, super uncomfortable for me to be there. Like to be up in front of the room and just flew by. I didn't even know what the heck I was doing. Next thing I know, it's like, oh shoot, I'm done already? Wow. That was scary. I could feel my face turning red. So I knew I wanted to overcome that. I wanted to get past that. I wanted to break through that. And I joined network marketing. I had to sell from the room and stand up in front of people and share my story. So that started breaking me through. I started doing Toastmasters as well, which helped me really, really break through all that and just, develop myself into a better human being that wasn't afraid of people, that was excited and empowered to share and to be in front of people and to be courageous and a leader, lead by example. So that's why now I train leaders on how to get over their fears of public speaking, to break through the limiting beliefs, practice being out in front, being a leader, and stop self-sabotaging themselves, exude more confidence, and experience emotional mastery. So that's, how I developed this story, right? So what are the elements of your story that you really want to use to be able to master yourself and create your reality? Which parts make sense to you? What challenges have you gone through? What breakdowns have you gone through? Another breakdown that I went through, for example. A breakdown with thinking that I didn't know what love was, and I was unloved and unlovable. And for a time in my life, I was super disconnected from my parents and resentful and wanted nothing to do with them, stayed out late, came home, late in the night / early in the morning, 3 a.m., whatever, 4 a.m., or even didn't come home at all. And just I didn't feel it was my responsibility or it was their right to know, even though I was living in their house. And just wanted them to leave me alone, right? Because I didn't want to talk with them, to face them, to deal with them, because then I'd recognize how unhappy I actually was and how unfulfilled I actually was, and I just didn't feel, good about the lack of love that I was expressing with them. I didn't feel good about the lack of closeness that I was expressing with them. So fast forward 5-10 years later, and now I'm able to share with my parents that I love them and give them big hugs and hold on to them longer than they want to hold on to me, whether they like it or not, right? And so that's why I coach a lot of people on that self-love, because a lot of my process, a lot of my transformation happened because I started learning how to love myself. I started learning how to be with my past, my history, my journey, and embrace every single part of it, the good and the bad. So that's an example of how I transmuted that. So what are your challenges? What have you gotten through? For me, I also went from, yes, I was like installing demos and video games, and I took apart computers and stuff. I looked at computers. I was curious. I worked on engines and motors, stuff like that. And I used that experience to help me be able to get an engineering degree, right? I got my electrical engineering degree, and now I use that same problem solving, those same problem solving abilities, mechanical, electrical abilities, to be able to diagnose people's problems in life and in business. Like, what's wrong? What's broken in the equation? What's broken in the system? You want this result. Where's the breakdown? Where's the stuck piece? Where is the out of integrity, the out of alignment? And how do we go to work on transforming that? So I love doing that. It's a blessing. So that's a part of my story that I really own. Speaking of owning our stories, Steven is a beast speaker. What's up, Steven Kuhn? Hope you're having the best day ever, brother. Sending you lots of love. Missed you on the 9 a.m. call. 9:55 stopping in, but I'm sure you had a ton to do. And 2018, man. Whoo! 2018, start learning how to share your story more. A great place to do this is on social media, because when we share it on social media, we can use all these different headlines, right? We can use a headline that, the one thing that kept me stuck for years and how I broke through. The one thing that kept me stuck and how I broke through, and the one thing that kept me stuck and is probably keeping you stuck, and how you can break through. How I broke through and how you can too. Whatever, right? Whatever it might be. What's up, man? What's up? So it's like we can use different headlines on social media and hit a certain point of whatever, like, here's the thing that was keeping me stuck. It was my integrity. It was my accountability. It was my communication skills. It was my, systems. It was my calendar. It was my whatever, right? You can tackle that piece of it, but how do you fit that in with your story? And then share your story more often. Share it every time you have one of these posts, like maybe like once a week, once a week, create different headlines, but tackle the point and share your story in the process. Tackle the point and integrate your story into how that makes sense, into making it personal, making it real and authentic, making it so that people get who you are. Super powerful. 2018 will be transformational and paradigm shifting for so many. 2017 was a tough year for many, challenges to be overcome, and yes, listen to the man, Chris Burns. This is just the beginning, baby. Woo! Yeah. That's right. I love it. I love it. So it's all about this story, our journey, being able to clearly articulate why people should listen to you, why people should trust you, why people should trust themselves. You know, if your story, another thing I was talking about earlier, if your story can help people believe in themselves, can help people forgive themselves, like if you empower people to stop beating themselves up, to stop being so hard on themselves, to trust themselves just a little bit more, to forgive themselves for all the bad decisions that they've made in the past, to remind themselves of like one step at a time. You know, what can you do with your story to really have people believe in themselves even more? Because that's what is missing in a lot of the marketplace and a lot of marketing materials, is people are so concerned about getting the client or the prospect to believe in their product or their service. Like, oh, I gotta add all this credibility and proof, and yes, that stuff's important, and to get them to believe in themselves is even more important. To get these people to believe that they're worthy, they're enough, they deserve whatever it is. They deserve this solution. Some people are kicking themselves in the pants for making a bad investment decision 10 years ago, so they haven't invested anything, and thus they haven't seen any growth. And you can come along and share your story in a way that has them say, wow, you know, he was just like me, and he was stuck, and you know, he made a crappy investment decision and totally financially crushed him, and now look how he's showing up. That's awesome. And I want to be around that. I want to be around that kind of transformation. I want to be around those kinds of results. So be able to disarm your prospects against themselves. Be able to create like healing and mending of people's souls before you've even sold them anything. Empower them to believe in themselves. That's what a lot of coaching is. A lot of people just want my coaching because of my energy, because of my certainty. And of course, they see that I'll add a lot of value, be able to clarify why they're doing the things that they're doing, create strategies, all that kind of stuff. But the real reason why people buy, from me at least, is because they want more of my energy and certainty and power and zest for life in their life. And that's really cool. And I also deliver the goods. I also deliver the framework, the strategies, the structures to help them get where they want to go. But you might find that a lot of people may buy from you or people that you know just because of the way that they show up, just because of how they make them feel. The seller of the product, how they make the buyer, the purchaser feel is everything. If you can instill in them confidence, if you can instill in them belief in themselves, if you can bring them to show up in a new way, say, wow, you know, like that's possible. I don't have to suffer anymore. I don't have to be stuck with this tragedy that happened in my life. I don't have to consider myself as broken or damaged or ruined. Wow. Like that makes me feel good. Like that gives me hope for life. I feel free. I feel lighter. I feel like the weight has been taken off my shoulders. It's an amazing feeling. And you have the responsibility to make your prospective clients, prospects, clients feel that way. Now that you know, you have the information now it's your responsibility to design your story and architect your journey to put these elements of credibility, of transformation, of empowerment, of giving people the freedom and peace to forgive themselves. Super powerful. And we're blessed to have this knowledge. So I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And I want to hear, what are you receiving from this interview so far? What are you getting from it? You can type it in the comments below. You can share about how you're going to use your story in 2018, how it's going to make a difference for you, how it's going to have you step up to the plate in whole new ways. I'm curious. Love to hear. All right. I've gotten like some really, really cool notes from today. It's been some great conversations. Illicit emotions. Speaking of stories, something that I could do to make these interviews more effective is elicit emotions, right? Illicit states. So I'm going to work on this right now. Since you guys are here with me, I'm totally going to be real with you, and like you can do this too. Disclaimer, like my intentions and commitment behind this is to empower people, leave them uplifted, give them the tools to succeed, and have them win. But a lot of times, I know for me personally, I have been resistant to using fear, scarcity, these kind of negative things that humans, like, they're programmed by, they are driven by scarcity. Okay, so this offer ends on December 31st, right? Scarcity can get people to drive to take action. Okay, so just remember that, and love that that's coming up for me too. Like create an end of the year offer, people, if you haven't done it yet. Create EO year offer. Boom. Create an end of year offer. But so I was talking about engineering these interviews to, like, first off, stories are important. I want to integrate more stories into this interview. So tell us a story. So I'm gonna ask a lot more. Tell us a story. Tell us a story. For example, that's one thing. But another thing is to pace where people are at. So people come on to this interview and they start in a mode of, disempowerment, numb, lost, stuck, hopeless, right? What's the one that most people come here with? Disempowered, meh, lost, probably, lacking clarity, lost, stuck, hopeless. Hopeless. Do people feel hopeless? No. They're probably like, I'm going to figure this out. They're like determined, but they can't figure it out. Like, they can't figure it out. They're like, why isn't this working? Making it happen is such a buzzword, but it's not interesting. Let me read this. That when someone is right in front of failure and suddenly they make it happen, that mindset must be harnessed, packaged, and trained. Imagine the drive, passion, and intestinal fortitude in you every day. That is my mission. That's beautiful, Steven. I love it. I love it, man. Yeah, make it happen is not. Yeah, just do it. Make it happen. It's like, yeah, I get it, but like that doesn't give people anything. We've heard it. We've heard it. Like, mindset must be harnessed, packaged, and trained. Imagine that drive, passion, and intestinal fortitude in you every day. Like, that's good. Imagine if you were just doing it. What would that look like, right? What would that be like? Get attached, get emotionally pulled forward by that. So I love that. And we can still use scarcity and fear to get people into action. What will happen if things stay the same for you? What will happen if things keep going the way that they've always gone? What will happen? What will it be like when you are 20 years down the road and you're still stuck with the same problem? Bam. Dig the knife in. It's our responsibility to dig the knife in, even though it may suck, even though it may temporarily hurt. If it gets people into action in their highest and best good, because we are certain of our services and we know we'll deliver, we know the difference that it'll make, it's our responsibility to do that. Okay? So tell us a story. So people start off at, let's say, something's missing. Is missing. Something is missing. There's something missing. Like, they start off as they before even something's missing, they might be at like distrust, like, who are you? Who are you? Like, I don't know who you are. I don't know if I want to listen to this. Is this valuable? Something's missing. They feel something's missing with themselves, with their life, but before we're able to meet them there, well, that could be the first thing. Yeah, so they feel something's missing or not clear. Not clear. Ali Madawi, what's up, brother? Hope you're having the best day ever. Ali was on last week, crushed it, brought the heat, baby. Brought the heat. Something is missing, something's not clear. Okay? It's not clear. I'm not clear on what to do next. I feel like I'm stuck. / spinning my wheels. So a lot of people come onto this show, for example, feeling like they're stuck or they're spinning their wheels. So if we started off every episode with something that paced that, right? Like something's missing. So tell us about a time where you felt like something was missing with you, and what'd you do about it? Okay, beautiful. They gave us a solution. Great. So next, to step number 1. So something's missing. What's missing? What's not clear? You feel like you're stuck spinning your wheels. So the guest, right? So say Steven was on. I ask him, tell us about a time where you were stuck and spinning your wheels, dude. Okay. So he shares. And so, okay, so what that does is it gives people credibility, gets people to understand that you're human and you might know a thing or two about what they're dealing with. Okay, so is the next thing, like, I don't know if I trust this person. Like, I don't know if I trust you. I don't know if I trust you. Something's missing. It's not clear. I feel like I'm stuck. Why should I listen to you? Should that be before? I'll probably rearrange this list a couple times, but this is good. Why should I trust you? 2. I don't trust myself. 2. I can't. I feel like I'm stuck, spinning my wheels. I can't trust myself. We're just gonna roll with this. So something's missing, something's not clear. I feel like I'm stuck spinning my wheels. 2 is, why should I trust you? I don't trust myself, or I can't. They're like resigned or untrusting. So after that, what do we want to do? We want to take people to possibilities, openness. Like, when were you closed off and then you became open? 3, like, how did you become open? I don't trust myself. How did you... Tell us about a time where you were closed off and became open. Or open, or, by the way, for everyone, we're talking about stories, and just so you know, if we have a certain pattern that we go through on these interviews, people will be more likely and receptive to the message. For example, if I ask, what should people do to be their greatest possible self? The very first question of the interview, a lot of people are going to be like, who's this guy? Like, why should I listen to him? Yeah, that sounds great. Nah. But if I ask, tell us about a time where you're stuck and stopped and like just totally spinning your wheels, people are like, ooh, yeah, I can relate to that. Man, that kind of feels like me right now. Ooh, I want to listen. This is juicy. This is good. Oh, that's me. That's me, right? So if you meet people where they're at, you'll get a lot more out of the mileage of the interview. And we've been starting with, tell us about the challenges, the journey. Tell us about where you were stuck, where you were stopped, where you were beaten down, bruised, lost, hopeless, right? Give us the juicy details. We've been starting with that, but I, as a host, it's my responsibility now that I get the pattern of this, the interview structure, like, and I'm designing it, right? I'm designing the pattern. Something's missing, not clear, feel like I'm stuck spinning my wheels. Why should I trust you? I don't trust myself. I can't. And then 3 is like, I'm still figuring it out, but closed off and become open. Like, how do you, going from, tell us about a time you were closed off and then became open, right? And that might be more in the why should I trust you? Still figuring it out. It's all perfect. But we're designing some stories, designing some structure. And this is stuff that you can put in your own talks as well. When you're on stage, you start off with a story of like when you were stuck and lost and hopeless. You know, you can tell them, you can earn the right. You can tell them like, now I'm running this 12-hour marathon, you know, done 37, interviewed 170 people over the last 10 months, and just like stoked on life, running a coaching company. We're clear on what we do. We help leaders like ignite themselves, be bold, conscious, loving, eliminate self-sabotage, be more courageous, and exude and experience emotional mastery. But it wasn't always this great. Like, my life has been tough. Like, I've been stuck. I've been broke. I've been, you know, beaten down. And let me tell you about a specific time, right? And then so I get them to the specific time of, you know, like I hit rock bottom. I thought my life was about to end. Whatever, you know, got in trouble with the law. People are like, oh, he's human. Okay. And then I'm still a little bit skeptical, but I get like you make mistakes, which is cool. You know, like I'm a little bit more open. And then, you know, I tell them about a time where I was like really closed off to opportunity. Right, as I was like really skeptical. Maybe skeptical might be one. And I'm gonna write that, skeptical. And so I talk about, you know, when I joined network marketing, I was super skeptical at first. Like, I don't know, you know, I didn't really want to join. Friend said there's this company. I don't know if I can do it. You know, I said I don't know if I can do it. Or maybe when I started my coaching company, I don't know if I can do it. You know, but then I went out and I sold one thing for $40, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can do it. It's possible. I didn't like transform overnight. I didn't become a billionaire or even a 6-figure earner, but I grew and I made progress. So that's like a story that you can use to relate to people to get them to start progressing along the scale. So we take them from initially distrusting, closed off, reserved, whatever, to a point where maybe they're trusting, they're excited, they're ready to take action, they're going in go mode, right? And so that's where I want to take people in these interviews, and I totally haven't been responsible for the knowledge that I know about neuro-linguistic programming and making that happen. So thank you for your patience, and just know that I'm totally going to be using this on you from now on, this structure, and I invite you to use it too. Like, you know, the force, right? There's a dark side and a light side, whatever. Good side, light side. Isn't it like dark side? Welcome to the dark side. Use the force. This is the light side. Is that what they call it? It doesn't sound right. Light side. There's the dark side and the good side. The good side of the force and the dark side. I think that's what I don't know. Let me know. For all you Star Wars fans. Is Star Wars the dark side and the light side, or is Star Wars dark side and the good side? Let me know. It might be light side. Light. The light. Anyways. So there's the dark side and the light side, and it's all about your commitment to why you're using it. That's why I framed it from the beginning of, I'm going to use this for people's best and highest good, and to get them to take action on people's offers that are valuable, that there's awesome role models and people on the show who people are not quite taking action on, and there's stuff that I can do to help program people to take action. So I'm going to do my duty and help people take action. You're welcome. Closed off and became open. Let's see. Skeptical, open, closed. Closed, skeptical, open, possibility. And then, heck yes. Okay, so here's what I created. People start off closed. Look, don't you love my writing? People start off closed, Something's missing. Something's missing. Hopefully you can hear. They start off closed. Something's missing. Not clear. Feel like I'm stuck, spinning my wheels. Then they go into skeptical. Why should I trust you? I don't trust myself. I can't. Open. Closed off. Meh. Like, so I'm going to be asking the guest, tell us about a time where you were closed off from, you were trying to avoid something. It's not so much open, where you were open to an opportunity, where you had an experience of openness, of just trying something out. Tell us about a time you tried something out and it worked out. Tell us about a time, so tried something out, and it worked. This is fun. I like doing this. I like doing I'm going to work with you. I like creating my stuff with you guys. It's awesome. I love it. Possibility. Okay, so possibility. So tell us about a time where you were just like totally in the zone of possibility. Tell us about, I love you, Kyle. Can I call you later? Kyle Peterson, I love you, my best friend, bro. We're definitely talking. When's your birthday, dude? 21st? Sometime soon. So people are in possibility, right? And by the way, Rachel's coming on soon, so I'm going to get this done, knocked out. But people are in possibility. And Rachel, if you're out there, thank you for your patience as I get everything up to speed. Okay. So, possibility. Tell us about a time where you were in the zone of possibility. Tell us about a time where you became, where you knew something was possible. Tell us about a time where you were like in the zone of possibility. Possibility, sure. Heck yes. Going for it. Crushing it. Victory. Good decision. Wise decision. Cool. So, as you can see, possibility. Tell us about a time where you were in the zone of possibility, where you're like, you were dreaming. Like, what did you dream about when you were younger? What did you dream about? What do you dream about now? What's a vision you have now? Possibility, right? Anything's possible. Whoa! And then the heck yes is the crushing it, is the victory, is the good decision, wise decision. So literally, just be expecting this. I'm going to take the guests through this process of asking these questions to pace you in the audience of where you're at when you're listening. You come to this interview, possibly, not saying everyone, closed, skeptical, closed and something's missing, not clear, feeling like you're stuck or spinning your wheels. Then you move into skeptical. Why should I trust you? I don't know if I trust myself. I can't, kind of like still closed, but a little bit more skeptical. Open is the next step. Closed off, and then you became open. Tell us about a time where you were closed, and then you opened up. Tell us when you tried something new. Ooh, that's a good one. Tried something new. Tried a new food. Tried a new experience. A new experience. Or you tried something new in your business, something like that. Possibility is the next one. Tell us about some time where you're dreaming of the future. What do you dream of? What do you dream of? This is gold, by the way. This is like marketing gold. And then the heck yes, crushing it. So tell us about a time where you were a heck yes, you succeeded, victory, a big windfall, big success, all that good stuff. Okay? So this concludes your story time special with Chris Burns. And I hope you enjoyed it. Keep loving life. Keep being your greatest possible self. Step up to the plate and have a lot of fun. Definitely.